Okay, we're back. I got set up for the vacuum. Behind me, we're still letting this dry up after we wet scrape that acoustical popcorn. So now we're going to go this side. We're going to use the Harbor Freight Bauer electric sander, orbit sander. I have it hooked up to a 16-gallon Craftsman wet dry vac with a HEPA filter on it. I've never used this sander before, so I'm going to check it out. It came with extra sanding pads, so I'm using a 60 grit because I don't really think I'm going to use 60 grit anywhere else when I sand with this, so I'm just going to try it out. I did do a modification. If you saw in another video that I have, I'm using an attachment from my other vacuum sander I have because it didn't fit and it was loose. So I'm a little worried about it coming loose while I'm sanding, and I don't want dust going everywhere. So I'm gonna turn the vacuum on, I'm gonna turn the machine on, it's gonna be really loud. We're just gonna see what happens because this is new to me as it is to you. All right, so let's check this out. Oh yeah, and if you didn't see what's cool about this one, it has its own light. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on the vacuum, I'm gonna turn this on, and let's see what this does, I guess. I don't, oh man, I don't even know. I know my vacuum was sucking. Dude, so maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I still need to get some practice at it. I know 60 was gonna be real rough, so it left a whole lot of scratches on this side. I can't really tell. Well, you can definitely tell with the light on. There's a lot of scratches up there. But let me see if I can turn the light on and show you guys. Dude, that was a lot of dust, huh? Oh shoot, look. You don't see that? I don't know if you can see that. Well, it actually did pretty good. It was dusty. It was a lot dustier than I thought it was going to be. But it did take it off. So let me do a side-by-side comparison. Okay, let me flip this around. Okay, so obviously this is what we started with, was the popcorn. Okay, that's my center line right there. Okay, so that's what we started off with. This is the vacuum side. It's dry. It took it down. It still left you know, a little bit of mud on there, but it's something you can work with. You can definitely work with that. And this is the wet side that we did. This is actually the dry part that we scraped first. So it still left some mud on there. You see how fine that water got it down to, you know? And then opposed to you're gonna leave mud when you do dry scraping. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna run the electric sander. I'm actually gonna use a different grid and see what that does. So let me try that out real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna show you So this is a 60. You can see, I mean, it's almost got like little rocks on it, right? And this is a 220. It's a lot different in the size of the grid. So we're going to use 220. I'm thinking maybe I didn't have the holes lined up, or maybe some of the holes were kind of half covered, and that's why it was spitting out so much dust. So let's try it without it and then see, or let's try lining up the holes better and seeing if that's going to help this out. My vacuum. I don't have some kind of beast in here. Anyways, I don't know. There's a lot more dust than I would have thought. And again, maybe because it's the first time I'm using it, maybe it's coming out wrong. So I got to play with it a little bit. And I do want to say I lied. So when I said this is what we scraped and left a lot of mud, that was from that foot sealing patch that we had done. So that's the extra mud from that patch. So, I mean, but look how clean it is. When you wet sand it, it takes it all the way back down to the drywall, right? It's pretty clean. And this wasn't too bad either. This sander, it took it back down, fuzzed it up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. I fuzzed it up. But in either event, they both take down the popcorn. It's going to be messy either way. So what I'll probably do in another video is skim this out. And I don't really know what I want to do with the sealing yet. But whenever you do remove popcorn, just know that there are going to be some extra coats or beds, skim coats, whatever you want to call it, that you're going to have to put on. Once you scrape that popcorn, you don't know what's underneath it. I guarantee you're gonna have to at least do one kind of a coat, okay? What we had up there was a level 2, where I only had one coat on everything, minus the detail and minus that patch that I made. So it does look pretty smooth, but because we had done, we had done some work, I didn't just leave it as a level 1. So that's what I got for that, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so what I did another modification. I switched out the whole hose. I'm using the hose from my Ames vacuum sander that came with that one rather than the one that came with Bauer. I'm actually gonna mud this and I'm gonna try to sand it with this again and see, because I took a lot less dust. Now I'm gonna say that the Bauer hose did pick up a lot, because my vacuum's working to make sure everything's working. It did pick up a lot of the popcorn. You know, there's, I can't tell what's on the floor, if it's from me scraping or if it's, I mean, there's nothing really on the side of when I use the vacuum, there's nothing on the floor. It's all from the side that I scraped, to think about it. So I'm gonna probably give it a skim, and then I'll sand it and see how that looks. So stay tuned.